Alright, welcome back, everybody. Thank you to that new sub, Salazy. That Twitch Prime sub. Really appreciate it. We are into the next best of 3. It's a TvZ on Proxima, and on the top right, as the blue Zerg, he is Impact.
He's going pull first. Pretty interesting. And in the bottom left, currently up the back of a nice TVP victory over Super, this is aLive from my insanity.
Impact.
This guy's improving extremely fast. It just seems like aLive is better than he's ever been by a fair margin right now.
Yeah, that is certainly true. Impact has had some pretty good TvZ, or TvZ I guess in his case as well, so I imagine this will actually be a very good TvZ. But aLive has had the results recently, of course, getting very, very far in the Super Tournaments as well as doing well in all the tournaments he's been in. It's really nice, actually, to see the Super Tournaments, like, as in, not the Super Tournament, but the big, awesome leagues, like the GSL and the SSL, start to represent what we see in the online leagues. First it was Bjorn, and Bjorn's a god and all that, but now it's actually come down to a lot of the guys we see all the time, like aLive, Gumiho, Solar, and all them, reaching those top edges. Hero, too. You know, Hero disappeared for a while, honestly, and then came back on Root. And it was like a godsend to him. I don't know, man. Like, Roots gave him, like, I don't know, protein powder or something? Because he just suddenly got super cheesy and super good. And obviously won the tournament recently, so.
Yeah, he's switched into a very aggressive Protoss, and he's really, really cheesy and tricky, and it's working out for him, and power to him for that. And aLive, like, what ZombieGrub's saying is, like, this guy is... You know, aLive and many others, like Beyond back in the day and that sort of thing, they were online warriors. There are people that would perform online, win community tournaments, and not win the big tournaments, like the big LANs. But that's starting to change. That's really cool. aLive, I feel like, I feel like this year aLive is going to be pretty close, at least in the final of a big tournament this year on stage. Other than the Super Tournament, of course. Right. I feel like he can probably make a GSL final. He is so good right now.
That I agree with. Impact might have something to say in this tournament, though, as again, that ZVT showcase yesterday was pretty on point, except for occasionally, like, his 2-base Slayer was not... 2-base Spire is just a hard build to make work in general Legacy of the Void, so I'm not too excited for that. But otherwise, he is looking very strong in ZVT. I think it Avatron Zero, sure, for that Twitch Prime resub, 7 months in a row.
Damn, putting that Twitch Prime to use for 7 months? That's some passion right there. I love Passion Lord ZombieGrub. I feel like the StarCraft scene has way more of them than other esports scenes. Just throwing that out there. We have a couple of Hellions and a Reaper going for the poke here. There's no transfuse energy, so the Queen getting a little bit low.
Yeah. That Liberator might actually be able to kill it in the best case scenario, too. Kind of the same effect as if you went for a Banshee follow-up, but to, I guess, a more powerful degree. That Queen might just out of the Hellions, though.
Yeah, she's real low here, and that's dangerous. You don't want to lose Queens this early. They're going straight for her. Not quite picking her off. The Lings actually not high enough in number to deflect this just yet. aLive's macro on his Hellions not too bad. Loses 1 there. And a Roach follow-up here for Impact while his pressure's going down. So he's switching over to probably go Roach Ravager here.
Yeah, looks like it. He has swapped back into muted at making a Roach Warren, but we'll see what his intention is. That Queen is still so close to dying.
Yeah, aLive wants that Queen so bad, he can taste it. But Impact's micro has been really good. He's been able to save those Queens. He's only lost Lings and a lot of hit points and 1 Queen so far, so doing a good job.
Well, even a second Liberator's on the way. The first one was just kind of scared away here. Didn't do much of anything at all. I don't think he even sieged.
No, it's just sitting there.
Yeah.
aLive looks like he's controlling the attack at the front here still a little bit more. Got a few more Lings. That Queen is way out off creep. These Lings are going to want to hope they get the job done here.
Yeah, right? It looks like they might be able to. These Hellions will be so low it won't be worth anyways, so...
Yeah.
That's Hellion. It's going to go down.
So nice defense from Impact there. Even if this Hellion lives, which it doesn't look like it will. Got him. So Impact now has beaten away the Hellion aggression here, and that means that the map control of aLive is gone. And he's trying to get his 3rd up. Meanwhile, Roaches are marching across the map.
Very dangerous. I don't know why this Liberator's chasing them. She should be sieging up on the 3rd base. This one gonna siege up in the third, or the natural, or whatever. Actually, this must have been the third, right? But there's no drones here, so a bit useless.
Yeah, so it's questionable start here for aLive. I mean, this is looking really, really dangerous for him to try and hold here. The third does finish. You can always lift that and go back into the main. Siege tank unsieging. Pulling back here. So these Ravagers are obviously going to be pretty amazing at dealing with this wall, and also with the Liberators when they siege up. But the tanks, worth their weight in gold right now against Impact. And I actually like that the tanks on siege to pull back here, because the Ravagers need to take a whole bunch of siege tank damage if they want to get in range of these tanks and bile them. The Liberator does go down. Third obviously lifted up here. Single Viking coming out, and this is really nice for aLive. He's going to be able to bat away those Overlords, take away that high ground vision of Impact. And Impact's open the front door, and he is flooding in.
Oh, that might be enough. The Ling's on top of the tanks, and while the Roaches are all types of clumped up, the tanks sometimes not even focus firing them. SCVs create a secondary wall almost to protect that one tank. That is a pretty cool move right there. But a lot of SCV damage is going to go down. That third CC finished, so I think as long as aLive holds, he's actually got the game.
He is holding.
Damn.
There's only 2 Roaches left. That SCV wall actually saved him the game. That one siege tank getting 2 Roaches with 1 shell at north there. That means aLive will hold here. That Viking doing plus armor damage is actually shredding these Roaches.
Doing a decent job. I do like that Impact trying to make the best of a bad scenario, though. Getting a couple last SCV kills. Repairs going down in the barracks. Really like aLive's attention to detail. But all said and done, 20 SCVs go down. That puts him about 20 SCVs below Impact. He just got a few more. I think it's still a winnable game for aLive, but Impact has been doing these aggressive Roach maneuvers and then transferring directly into Infestors, which I think is the best option, and I'm almost shocked we don't see it more often. It's worked out really well. It's given him so much more time in games that he should have lost than those who, like, get the upgrades and play, like, a more standard game first. Like, no, just directly up to those Fungals and Corrosive Biles.
Yeah, absolutely. The Fungal and Corrosive Bile combo, I guess you call it, is the strongest thing you can do with Roach Ravager, I feel. And there's Pathogen Glands. Infestor's not far away here for Impact. And he's still looking pretty good. I mean, he did a lot of damage to aLive's economy there. Like, aLive did hold, and he is going to survive. Oh, didn't quite get that creep pooped out in time. Third CC does finish. Landing there. So 2-2 on the way for aLive. Medevac's just coming out now. These Marines were stemmed and don't have any healing until just as they popped. And the aLive army is starting to look a little bit better with time, as it has 1-1 with 2-2 on the way. 1-1 still only just halfway done, not even halfway done for Impact. So the army of aLive, very, very strong.
Oh, dropping might be the worst thing to do, though.
Yeah, these get fungled.
Yeah, all depending on where those Infestors are. We have an Overlord drop actually being set up in the very, very top left. Ooh. That's a stretch, but the drops go into the main base. There's a Spore Crawler, there's Creep Spread. Infestors are about to pop out, so he's going to be very careful. Not going to go for it.
Yeah, he's going to rethink this. I think that's smart. It would have been pretty ballsy to go up into the main there. Just unloading these 16 Marines. They do, again, have 1-1 and stem and combat shield, so they're quite powerful. Too many Zerg, though.
I want to say aLive played yesterday. Again, like, I wish I could remember this. And I say that because I think he knows Infestor's got to be on the way, basically. If he didn't play him yesterday, then at least in general, figure that would be the most powerful move a Zerg could do. So he should be a little on point, a little on guard. Actually scans ahead and sees the Infestors, so confirmed now.
That's right. Shaving off some of that creep trimmer he has to pick up and leave. Looks like that drop is about to hit as well on the very far left of the map.
Oh,
that's some banelings.
Oh,
that's some
banelings.
Oh,
that's oversaturated. Oh my god. And we're good.
This is the part where commentators like myself just suck air between their teeth and hold it and just watch the magic. Just really, it's a tough one to play by play.
Oh, cool. Nice
yeah, really nice deflection there from the lad. Yeah. This is a nerd that looks at the minimap. That's why he does well at games.
Might as well drop him, I was gonna say. What else you can do?
This poor unit's like, I'll get you next time.
Yeah, right? Except they're gonna be chased. aLive, hopefully not spending too much on this. Hopefully he's macroing pretty well, you know, back at home. And I think he is. Second factory, so a lot of tanks, upgrades for his tanks, upgrades for his bio. He's gonna have one really, really good push before Ultralisk are out. And then he might be screwed if it doesn't work, but it might just work.
Yeah, I mean, tanks are really good against Roaches and Ravagers, but they're not super great against Ultras, strangely enough. You're going to want those snipes. You're going to want those Liberators. They're going to be much more effective.
Yeah, tanks have really got to be, like, in a bit of a choke and, you know, not being targeted down by corrosive biles or distracted by lings to be super effective against Ultras. I said he'd have a really strong push before Hive, but, you know, I kind of forgot. aLive has been doing something that a lot of Terrans are kind of shy about doing, really, which is, one, like, just taking it to the late game, but then two, taking it to the extreme late game. Like a 4th base, sure, pretty quickly, that's really nice, and he can just wait the game out, let impact come to him. But aLive had even played a game where he went pseudo-mech, like 3 factory, 3 starport on Proxima, and he just waited the game out for a really long time.
Well, impact's coming to him, all right. We got an Overlord here, actually missing a SCV transfer there at their 4th. Decides like he wants to go for the back natural instead.
It's gonna be the 3rd base, bit of a rally.
3rd base, yeah, here it comes.
Here it goes.
2nd time's the charm. This one, live's not looking. Oh god.
Oh,
there it is.
Damn, these reactions though.
Yeah.
Stuff.
I would pay a lot of money to have this kind of reaction.
Yeah.
This awareness, I suppose.
You know, even if he lost 18 SCVs, which I guess he is now. There we go.
Ooh, 12 going down there.
All right.
Now that's worth.
Yeah.
Liberated range on the way for aLive. Now that's an anti-Ultralisk upgrade right there. We got with the back door of this 4th getting down, that has been turned into a planetary for aLive, so, and he's in position, so obviously Impact's not going to get too much done here, but he is going to give it a shot anyway.
Scans for the Hive, sees the Ultralisk Cavern. It's not wiggling and jiggling, but it also could mean that Kai's play is already done, so I can't actually tell too much from that. We know it's not. And actually,
Nice.
aLive. Impact even forgot Kai's splitting in one game for like quite a long time, and I'm kind of worried the same thing's happening. It's a Nidus before starting it, so.
Oh please don't jinx him, CG. We got a Nidus on the way, and this is a pretty entertaining structure right here. We'll see how it pays off. There is some main base potential vision here for Impact. aLive has sensor towers up though, and he's ready for those Overlord drops. There's another one coming on the top here. aLive is ready. He's got a turret in position. Is he going to react though? He may just rely on the turret and the planetary to get the job done. No, he does pull back. Nothing done.
Very nice. Of course, Burrow is always going to be an accessory to Infestors nowadays. Took a little while for Zergs to catch up to that upgrade, but when they did, they just always get it.
Oh,
That's
aLive.
Move. But I mention that because there are lings burrowed in common paths. They don't have a lot of vision when they're burrowed, but just enough that if they're in the right path, they'll see the attack incoming. I really like that. And there's also been attempts at burrowed Infestors to sneak up behind aLive's army. aLive has been pretty on point about scanning if he ever kind of moves out though. Just uses 2 scans here to see what's going on, looking for probably a greater spire or a 2nd spire or anything, but also sees the Nidus worm.
Yeah, there's actually action all over the map right now. We got the Liberators harassing the lines, sort of the 5th base on the south there. Getting harassed by Liberator does go down. We have a big flood of Zerg units trying to look for that 4th planetary at the top here for aLive. This Liberator with Liberator range still getting drone kills as well.
Damn. aLive's pretty on point today with his micro. Until
He's
this.
not too bad. Oh, big attack at the 4th base.
Planetary is a goner, it looks like, but he still has 2 other command centers. So many tanks, so many Liberators. He's gonna pull his bio behind them, and I think he's got it.
Yeah, he certainly has. The Lings of the Banelings pulling in, but aLive. Nice pull back there, nice control, and a CC to spare, so he can retake this base immediately. And also take the gold at the same time. What a clever boy, making those extra CCs. Loses 19 SCVs, knocking him down to 40 workers versus the 67 of Zerg. That said, though, he has a lot of army supply, and it is heavily upgraded. Chitinous plating is about to finish. He remembered it this time, and 8 Ultras about to pop. This is aLive's time to get damage done now.
Those scans barely reveal that Infestor. The Fungal not able to help quite enough, and this gold base is going to go down. The Ultralisk will pop with plating. That perfectly timed out, actually. And I think 9 Ultras would be enough to push this back, but aLive, maybe a smarter move would just be to pack it up and go home after getting the space. I think it'd be a super wise move, and he does it.
Yeah, and getting that base and just pulling back is quite nice. He may have to lift up what he can. Oh, no, he's going to engage here.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know about this aLive. That's a lot of Zerg. Oh.
Yeah, Corruptors here as well. Target fire on the Ultras is going so poorly. Even the Unsiege tank's helping out a little bit.
Wow.
Infestor's not using the fungals. He's got a scan for that one, though. Oh, God.
That's a huge fungal right there, but he doesn't have the Corsair files to marry up, but the Ultralists are doing a great job. This is a very overstimmed army. They're very, very low.
Dear Lord. He's, oh, my God. It's so low. He needs so many more medevacs. Another fungal just kills a lot of units right there.
Yeah, that is a cash money fungal for Impact, and aLive gets cleaned up. Loses all those units that he used to kill that hatchery. Gets a bunch of Ultralists, but there's still a lot left for Impact. He's pushing him back. A lot of these Liberators, thankfully for aLive, are still alive. But, yeah. He's going to need a ground army to come up with him.
I did like that pickup on that one siege tank, but he needs to replace those medevacs. This should be the only Liberators he has for quite some time. The gold base, of course, was denied by a Ling, and he's going to try and take another base, but that is also denied by a Ling. This is super good moves by Impact. Liberator tries to kill a couple of drones, but aLive has not been remaking his SCVs. I guess this is turned into a planetary, but not repaired. He needs more mining. Natural mined out, main mined out, third base. It's actually okay.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The economy of aLive is struggling here, and these are trying to get the repair on the CC. Bile's coming in. aLive catching an Ultralisk there. Nice hold for aLive. But again, that's more minerals into the CC, and look at his bank. It's pretty poor right now. His income not too great either. It's almost, I mean, with the mules now it's jumped up a little bit, but it's actually about half that of Impact's with the mules come off cooldown.
I'm getting a little bit baited here. He doesn't have any fungals this time, so he's got to be very careful with how he uses these units. And barely enough Corruptors, honestly. Like, the 4 Corruptors could be targeted down or just go over a missile turret and be at a loss to deal with the Liberators. So, still going to be a careful game for both of these players. Impact, I guess you're mentioning the economy. Here it is. Winning it usually pretty hard.
aLive is stimming out a few units here, trying to get what he can get. Maybe bait out a, kill an Infestor if he's really lucky. Banelings, that sort of thing. Trying to get an Ultralisk. One of them getting very, very low. Looks like he can get that one there.
That's Queens. Still decent. Queens, of course, of those transfuses. How many queens does he have? 0 now, actually. That was the last queen.
Oh, wow. So that's it for injects as well, which is a big deal, actually.
Huh. I wonder if that'll be a limiting factor. Usually, it's just, they deplete their bank and realize only at the last second that, hey, I don't have a bank. I shouldn't have done that attack, but maybe it's Larva this time. Looks like he noticed.
Oh, my God.
He's remaking a couple.
There you go. So he's starting to make a few queens here, but my God, the income advantage for Impact is Craigasm. It is absolute. It is so good right now versus aLive's. He's getting a lot of income here. He can really, he's allowed to trade ineffectively. aLive is not at this stage, I feel.
Yeah, I agree with that. aLive also very hesitant, of course, to send out drops. His Liberator harassment hasn't really been working. That's kind of cool.
I've never used this before. I'm going to steal this.
And then, 5 Lings kill you, and you're like, shit.
Yeah. TvZ feels. Oh, Corruptors! They're getting onto that CC, and it's going to go down. I don't think they can repair through this damage.
You can't repair unless there's, just not any Corruptors whatsoever.
Flip in Pepperinos.
Yeah. Orbital not going to come over here. I mean, Orbital's not terrible, especially if you can force engagements outside of that base, and, this is a planetary still, but you got to be extra worried about that base going down just, a handful of Lings.
Oh, man. I think this gold base and maybe a patch on the 3rd are the only mining for aLive.
Yeah, a couple patches.
Yeah, okay, so there's a few patches there. He's got to go over back. He's going to try and retake this base here. Ling's coming in to kill some SCVs as well. Yeah, this is not a huge investment for Impact, but very, very costly for aLive.
Almost fully upgraded, too. I don't know where 16 drones just went down. I know this has been harassing, but has that been it? Huh. I don't know. 16 drones? Yeah, I guess it has been. Oh, I think he transferred drones into it. Oh, I wish I caught that. That would have been nasty. So 18 drones is not bad. Puts it a little bit more even on the economy, but impacts a lot more bases.
Now this planetary is where aLive wants to fight here, and he has to fight here. That's a lot of Zerg. Baneling's coming in, and they're going to look for that. Are they going to look for the SCVs? Do they want that planetary? Yes, they do. The planetary is going to go down. aLive's armies of these medevacs. The Corruptors are closing the gap here. aLive trying to pull back. They're stimmed. They're very, very hurt. SCVs siphoning here for aLive. He needs to win this fight. He wants to stay in this game, but it looks like this fungal is going to seal the deal here for Impact. GG. Wow. God. You weren't kidding about Impact CBT there, Zombie Grub.
No, no, it was super good. And he's also been playing both styles very well, Roach, Ravager, Infester, and Mutilating Bling. So we might see that depending on what aLive chooses for the second game. But damn, I was like watching those Infestors come out. Like there's some times where I watch the Infestors and I'm like, why isn't Impact using them? And it might be that he's doing a billion other things, but it also feels like he's just like putting us on our like the edge of our seats, like on purpose. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get that fungal, don't you worry.
Well, that's okay.
And he does.
I like a little bit of an adrenaline in my veins here in that StarCraft action, especially considering I've been up since 5:30 in the morning. Haven't had a nap today.
Oh, naps are great.
Naps are great. I'm bad at napping though.
Are you? Well, you don't like the feeling of it? You can't fall asleep, or?
No, I just don't. I find it hard to fall asleep in the middle of the day.
It's the only time I fall asleep. I actually would go through stints in like summer between school years where I would just be like, I wouldn't have like insomnia because I would go to sleep, but I could never go to sleep at night. Like, perfectly normal day, workout, mentally challenging day, try to go to sleep at, midnight, and I just would not be able to. So I talked to my friends in like the Philippines for like 10 hours, and then as soon as the sun came up, I went to sleep.
Well, hey, that's one way to kill an evening. I used to be like that, but I used to sleep during the day and stay awake during the night. I think it was back in the World of Warcraft days. I'm talking like mid 2000s here.
Yeah, that's definitely what I was doing for a lot of that time.
But I'm like 11 p.m. hits and I am sleepy.
Yeah, I've been having this thing recently though. The last 2 days, I've had nightmares about not waking up on time. I had a nightmare today that I woke up at like 12 p.m. and I was like, well, that's way too late.
Did you not? You don't know this. I don't think I've told you, but I actually don't dream.
That is interesting. That is even weird, some would say.
Yeah, it is a bit weird. But yeah, I don't like. I just fall asleep and then I wake up. I'm sure I do dream. I just don't remember it. I've had this talk with a couple of my other friends, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess that.
It's a little bit strange for me. Well, in general, apparently.
Yeah, in general. I don't think I would give, like, as scary as nightmares can be, whether they're, like, the stupid nightmares, like, I'm back in college and I didn't know the term paper, or legitimately scary, like, someone's gonna, like, axe murder me. I still wouldn't give up, I guess, the really cool dreams, or the fun topics of weird dreams.
Yeah. Back when I used to dream, I used to only have nightmares or lewd dreams. It was one or the other.
Ace lewd?
Ace lewd?
Oh. I'll ask more about that later. It's game number 2. And in the top left, he is down 1. It is the Red Terran aLive.
Yeah, and we were really riding this guy about how good he is right now, but damn, look at this kid in the bottom right turning heads. This is Impact. What is EBT? Now, this map, a little bit trickier. It's got a lot of terrain that can be abused. A little bit harder to end the game earlier as well. This is a map where it can get later game. I actually really hope it does go later game too. That game on Paladino was Proxima was fantastic. I always mess up Paladino and Proxima.
I know. I don't even blame you. I did that when the first pot came out too, because I just totally thought they beat each other.
I still do it. I'm like, people are asking what my win rates are on certain maps and stuff. I'm like, my worst win rates on Proxima. And like, do you mean Paladin? I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
Like, whatever the one is with the small, tiny chokes. 2 small, tiny chokes.
Well.
Boy, am I glad that map's being rotated out. Whew.
I think a lot of people are very glad about that. So, I did miss a sub, I believe. So thank you to AsmodiGam. AsmodiGam? They have a 3-month resub. But also, and this is totally my fault, guys. I completely forgot. But we have the Matcherino up and running. So this prize pool, I mentioned it at the very beginning of the cast, is set at 200, but you guys can contribute more. And of course we have those codes that let you contribute $1 for free. You don't have to put in any information to do so. Just put in the code. What is today's code actually? Let's see here. I think someone just mentioned it. BTSL2, and adds $1 to the prize pool. So please click on that link whenever you see it in the chats, just ! Matcherino, and that'll be a big help.
Yeah, chuck in $1. You get to make a comment as well.
That's true. You can make a comment if you want to.
Yeah, and that comment lives forever. My comment that lives forever is butts. I copied Rifkin. Yeah, I was feeling super mature last night when I donated to the Alima League, I think. For,
The other one we did? Yeah.
no, the other one, yeah.
Yeah. This is important though, so let's just let spiel aside. This is a lot more than just 2 lings. This is in fact lings that are gonna have speed soon, and when it's this many lings, you bet, like, aLive knows. aLive knows he's about to have speed. No one really does this with slow lings, permanently at least, so he's gonna have to cancel the command center, and it's gonna suck. He just gets a straight up loss for this early game.
Yeah. And that's huge. Like, yes, he gets 100 minerals. He loses 100 minerals. He gets 300 back. But the worst part is that the momentum is completely stunted here for the Terran. So when he wants that second base, if it was in the main and aLive, that's fine. He can float it down later, and his tempo is not upset too much. But the Zerg is just free to drone up, and it is free to take a third. It can do whatever it wants.
Yeah. And another unfortunate thing for aLive, that Reaper, of course, never went across the map. It did see the lings, so that was like, you know, kudos for that, but with speed, it couldn't do anything about it. So he has no idea if Impact's following up with, like, more lings, a Baneling bust, a Roach rush, and, you know, that is, well, hey, I didn't expect a Roach rush, but as I said it, Roach Warren is put down, and he's going to make sure to continue stopping any type of scouting from aLive.
Yep, 2 queens in position to be able to bat away the... any kind of scouting here, and I don't, is the Reaper? No, the Reaper's dead, so he can scan, I guess, but he doesn't want to really do anything to make mules with that energy. Sees that Cyclone actually on the top of the ramp there.
It's interesting, you know, if aLive continued making what he is, which is like Hellion, Cyclone, and maybe like Liberator instead of Medivacs, he would not have a bad hold against a Roach Ling attack. But of course, he's going to be making just Hellions and trying to do a Hellbat attack, which is just not, it's not going to work, you know. Regardless if this Roach Warren actually makes Roaches offensively, it is there to make them defensively, and that'll just...
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
That should just stop the Hellbat attack dead in its tracks.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Impact has all the tech that he needs. I mean, that Overlord pickoff was quite nice for aLive. Impact had to put 400 minerals into making Overlords there, and 4 lava into making Overlords. Impact's coming down to take that natural, but again... because it's so delayed. Economy not looking so hot. Roach is on the way now for Impact as the third gets blocked down.
Well, this is a good enough scout for Impact to know that's a Hellbat attack. Just been a couple Roaches.
Yep, 7 Roaches, 8 Roaches on the way. I think he was already making them as well. And they're going to, yeah, that is more than enough units if they're controlled correctly to be able to deal with this. This is a cool little follow-up for aLive, though. I like this, getting Cloaked Banshee here back at home.
Yeah, that might be would do something, especially if the Hellbat's on top of the Queens. A lot of times the initial defense is Queens, and they take a lot of damage, but in this case it is the Roach is already out and about. Hellion's gonna try and sneak in, but that's where the Queens are, so not too much damage should be done over there.
Ooh, Cyclone coming up from the north, but he is all alone. Hellbat's getting picked off by these Roaches. The Marines desperately want to pick off this hatchery, dancing around the outskirts here. Oh, they're target firing it, but just not enough DPS. Impact does hold, and also turning a very hurt Roach into a full hit point Ravager.
Nicely done. Couple links. Could have probably killed a couple SCVs.
Oh, if only he had a Baneling Nest. Cyclone sees them.
Oh, okay. Alright.
I remember when the 3.8 was announced, and they were doing that showcase at the Shoutcraft Kings at BlizzCon. That a couple players just made like a handful of Cyclones, and you think, oh yeah, that's gonna die to Lings. Oh.
Yeah, new ones are pretty good.
It's amazing. Oh, a Nidus on the way for Impact. I'm actually in love with Impact right now. As much as I love Terrans because I'm a Terran myself, and I love aLive because he's so incredible right now, Impact he's turning me into a fan. I love this play. This is great.
That has not been scouted and probably won't be. This Banshee was denied so hard, he's not going to try and go back in. At least it'll be aLive to help with the Nidus Swarm a little bit, but of course that's why the Queen's going to go in there first. Chance to use the Nidus, take out the Banshees, take out whatever else is on the ground. The tank, very immobile, won't be able to help if this is done right, and there is that Nidus Swarm.
Yep, Overseer in position there. The main of aLive is on the way. Of course, aLive's minimap awareness has been really, really good. So he is in position. He has a lot of units here as a tank. I think he should be able to kill this Nidus Worm, but the Queens are out. They will transfuse it.
I'm not sure there's enough. The tank did reposition, so not so bad.
GG.
But that, you know, okay, yeah. GG. Damn, Impact 2 zeros.
Woo!
2 zeros.
That's a big upset there for me, but I guess not. I mean, you weren't kidding. That Impact ZBT is nothing to sneeze at. That's incredible.
He'll be going up against Hurricane next, though, and this is where we still get into the interesting territory where Impact, I still believe his EVP did not look good against another Korean Protoss, and while Hurricane isn't like, you know, you don't think of Hurricane with Zest and Stats and Hero, Hurricane won yesterday really, really just well. Like, he just looked super good, so I would actually give Hurricane that, despite how good Impact looks today. But I believe the first semifinal we'll be doing is Jokshi's. Actually, no, I don't think he's ready, so we might be doing Hurricane versus Impact first. Regardless, we're going to take a 2-minute break, so see you guys when the lobby's ready.